Hey friends, I'm just getting ready to make dinner tonight and I'm trying a new recipe from our season's best. It is called roasted vegetable salad and it's got Brussels sprouts in it. I'm really excited and it's going to go with some salmon that I'm doing in the air fryer. But I am going to use my multi-cooker to cook up some a wild rice blend here, and so I'm going to show you how that works. And with the multi-cooker, it's a pressure cooker among other things. You need equal amounts of rice and water to start, but I am going to rinse this. They always tell you to rinse it really well. So let me move this so you can see. I'm going to put my rinsed rice in the multi-cooker. And then I'm going to add a cup of water. And we'll just stir that around. Just make sure all the rice is in the water. And then what we're going to do is put the lid on. I'm going to turn this on first because it makes fun sounds when it's on. So I'm going to put the lid on and turn it. So wait, let me just show you. There's a gasket in here. This is really important. If you forget to put the gasket in after you've washed it, it's not going to come to pressure. So the gasket's important. So you put this on. Turn it, and then we are going to use one of the presets here for the whole grains, and we're going to bump it up to 15 minutes for this rice and start. So this is going to boil the liquid, and then it's going to come to create steam and come to pressure and pressurize. It'll count down for 15 minutes. And then it'll be done. We'll release the pressure. So that's going to go in our salad. But meanwhile, I've got some vegetables that I'm going to be roasting. So this is Brussels sprouts and some red onion in here. And to this, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Oh, I forgot my little measurer. Okay, love my little mini measure-all guy. Easy read measuring cup, because I can see the measurements from the top. Okay, so we're going to toss in some oil, 2 tablespoons of oil with that. And then we're going to add in some of our savory maple seasoning, which is really, really delicious. And it calls for 2 tablespoons of savory maple spice blend. This is a half tablespoon, so I'm going to need 4 of these. So 1, 2, and I'm going to toss this a little bit and then add the rest of it. And it already smells delicious from this maple spice. Okay, and then 1, 2. Okay, so that's 2 tablespoons of the savory maple spice mix. I'm going to toss this really well, and then we're going to roast these on the stone bar pan in the oven at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes. And then when they're done roasting, we're going to add some other delicious things to it, including some dressing, and we'll have a nice salad. So let me just go ahead and pour these onto my bar pan. I love my bar pan because it's super versatile. You can fit quite a bit on there. Things don't stick to it. It's the same size as a jelly roll pan, so you can make like a Texas sheet cake. I do an omelet roll around the holidays. It's really good on here. Love it for roasting vegetables, so it's a great all-purpose kind of a pan. So into the oven it goes. So while we're waiting for the vegetables to roast and the rice to cook, and I'm warming up my air fryer for the salmon, I'm going to make a quick dressing that's going to go on those vegetables, because this is actually a roasted vegetable salad, so it has a nice dressing with it. You can eat it hot as a side dish like we're doing tonight, but it makes a lot, so there's going to be a bunch left, and it's also good cold later on, so I'm thinking quick lunches, it'll be all ready to go. So in our dressing, we're going to add 6 tablespoons of oil, and I'm using my little mini measure-all cup because it's got tablespoon markings and cup markings and ounce markings on the side if you pour in the top for liquid. So I'm going to use that side first. So we're going to do 6 tablespoons of oil. And then I'm going to put my white wine vinegar right in there at the same time. It needs 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. So I'm going to keep on going. Here we go. Up to the 8 mark. Almost there. Okay, that was about all I had left in my bottle. Phew, got lucky. Okay, so we're going to put those into our 2-cup prep bowl, because this is what I'm going to mix the dressing in. So I've got my oil and my vinegar, and then to that I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of honey. Now I'm going to turn this over and use the other side for the honey. So this is the side. I'm going to put it down to the 3 tablespoon mark. On the side here, and I'm going to put my honey in. And I love this for sticky things, so ketchup, barbecue sauce, honey, peanut butter, sour cream, mayonnaise, any of those things, because you fill it up to the top, then you can shove this out and scrape everything off, and you know it all got in there. And then the other sticky thing we're going to put in this recipe is 1/4 cup of, which is 4 tablespoons, of Dijon mustard. So I'm going to use that same thing, put it down to 1/4 cup, 4 tablespoons. See, we want it even, a little bit more. Okay. Looks good. And so I'm going to put that in there. And then the last thing we're going to do is a little bit more of this savory maple, and it calls for a tablespoon. So I've got my 1/2 tablespoon here, so we're going to do 2 of those. 1, 2, and this is the dressing that's going to go over those roasted vegetables, and there's going to be some other things added in at the end too, so we'll do that after it's done roasting. But for right now, I'm just going to whisk this together. I love this mini whisk, by the way, perfect for small containers like this. So I'm going to whisk that up, and I'm just going to set it aside because we're going to use that later. And now we wait for our vegetables to get done, and pretty soon I'll put the salmon in, so hopefully it'll be all done pretty much at the same time. Alright, the veggies are done. Look how beautifully they've roasted on this stone. They've got some little bit of charring on there. You can see the steam coming up. They smell fantastic. So now we're going to finish off our salad by taking the vegetables off of here and putting them into a bowl, and then we're going to toss them with the dressing. I love this scoop and serve because it's great for getting stuff right off of this nice flat stone. So you can scoop up quite a bit at once. And it scoots right along the bottom of the stone to grab everything. It's great for serving out even lasagna and stuff like that, because you can get in there and lift it out of the pan. So I do like it. It's silicone, so it doesn't scrape anything up. You can use it in any kind of cookware. All right. So now we've got our vegetables in here, and we're gonna toss in our dressing that we mixed. And I'm just gonna toss it with this. And then we're gonna add in a couple of apples that have been diced up. And some pecans that have been toasted. I toasted those earlier today. They toast real nicely on the little bar pan in either the oven or the air fryer, and you can actually toast them in the microwave on that stone too, because the stone will get hot and it will help toast those nuts. Okay, so I've got that all mixed up, and the last thing we're gonna do is just add some goat cheese on top. Now, if I were serving this for company, I would put it in a fancy bowl. But it's just us tonight, and I don't see why I need to get a whole nother dish dirty. So we're gonna serve it out of here tonight. So I'm gonna mix in some of that goat cheese and then sprinkle the rest on the top. This was just a little, the goat cheese is optional in the recipe, but it sounded like a great idea. And this was just one of those little 4-ounce logs of goat cheese. So look how beautiful that salad is. Oh, I forgot to put in the rice. So let's see, which is all done now. Cancel and release what's left of the steam. It's been sitting there for a few minutes, not too much steam left. I should have mixed this in before I added the cheese, but it'll all go in the same place anyway. So we're gonna let that finish. When this little red button goes down like it just did, then I know I can get this lid off because it's no longer under pressure. I always like to hold it over the thing for a minute because there's usually some liquid in there. So the rice looks great. I'll just show you a scoopful of it. It's nice and fluffy and steamy. We're going to mix that in. We're going to have that as our kind of all-in-one side dish with our salmon, which just beeped at me from the air fryer. So that's done too. So we have a lovely dinner with some leftovers, I am sure. So let me just mix that in and see how that looks. Again, we're eating this hot tonight, but it's supposed to be really good cold too, so I'm planning on some extra lunches out of it. So anyway, here's our roasted salad. I'll get our salmon out and then